Sometimes changes in a relationship don't arrive loudly. They show up quietly in small shifts that are easy to overlook if you're not paying close attention. Many people assume that betrayal is always obvious, but in reality, emotional distance often develops long before anything becomes clear on the surface. It's not about catching someone doing something wrong, but noticing when the connection you once shared begins to feel different in subtle ways. One of the earliest signs can be a shift in how she seeks your attention. There may have been a time when she cared about your opinion, how she looked, what she wore, or how she presented herself. Those moments created a sense of closeness, a quiet bond built on validation and shared interest. But when that disappears, it can feel like something important is missing. If she starts putting more effort into her appearance while showing less interest in what you think, it may suggest that her need for validation is being fulfilled elsewhere. Another change can appear in something as simple as laughter. It sounds small, but emotional connections influence behavior in powerful ways. The way someone laughs, reacts, or expresses joy can subtly shift when they are spending emotional energy in a new place. If her reactions feel unfamiliar, almost like they don't match the shared experiences you once had, it may reflect a deeper emotional change rather than just a passing mood. At the same time, you might notice unexpected kindness that feels slightly out of place. Sudden generosity, extra compliments, or thoughtful gestures can seem positive on the surface, and sometimes they truly are. But if they appear without a clear reason and feel disconnected from her usual behavior, they can also come from a sense of internal conflict. When emotions become complicated, people sometimes try to balance those feelings through actions that ease their own discomfort. These signs don't automatically mean something is wrong, but they do invite you to slow down, observe, and reflect. Healthy relationships are built on communication, awareness, and honesty. Noticing these shifts early gives you a chance to understand what's really happening beneath the surface before distance grows even further. As emotional distance grows, it often begins to show up in the way someone expresses themselves day to day. You may notice new phrases, different interests, or references that feel unfamiliar, almost like you're no longer part of the same inner world. This isn't always intentional. People naturally absorb the energy and habits of those they spend time with, especially when there's an emotional connection involved. But when that shared language no longer includes you, it can quietly signal that something has shifted beneath the surface. Another subtle change can appear in how she responds to your independence. In the past, she may have wanted more of your time, more of your presence, and more shared experiences. Now, she might encourage you to spend time away, to focus on your own plans, or to be more independent. On the surface, that sounds healthy, and sometimes it truly is. But if it comes with a sense of emotional distance or lack of interest in reconnecting afterward, it may reflect a growing separation rather than support. Conflict can also start to feel different. Disagreements that once carried emotion, even frustration or passion, may now feel strangely quiet. Instead of engaging, explaining, or even arguing, she might seem detached, almost indifferent. This kind of emotional flatness can be confusing because it removes the usual signals that something matters. In many cases, when someone stops reacting, it's not because everything is fine, but because they've already begun to emotionally withdraw. You might also notice that her routines are changing in ways that don't include you anymore. It's not just about being busy, but about how that time is spent. New activities, new people, and new patterns can slowly take shape, while your role in those routines becomes smaller. Over time, this can feel less like natural change and more like being gently pushed to the side. These moments can be difficult to process, especially when they happen gradually. It's important to stay grounded and avoid jumping to conclusions while still respecting what your instincts are telling you. Awareness is not about suspicion. It's about understanding patterns and recognizing when something meaningful in the relationship needs attention. One of the most confusing shifts can be a sudden sense of calm. After a period of tension, distance, or unspoken issues, you might expect things to either improve together or come to a clear conversation. But instead, there is quiet. She seems at peace, Yet that peace doesn't feel shared. It's not the kind that brings you closer, but the kind that creates space. This can happen when someone has already processed their emotions internally and reached a decision on their own, without bringing you into that journey. This kind of emotional closure is often silent. There are no dramatic moments, no clear endings, just a gradual fading of connection. Conversations become lighter, less meaningful. Eye contact may feel different. The sense of us slowly weakens, even if everything on the surface appears stable. It's not always about what is said, but what is no longer felt. At this point, the most important thing is not to react with fear or assumptions, but with clarity and calm awareness. Relationships naturally go through phases, and not every change means something negative. However, consistent emotional distance, combined with these subtle shifts, is worth paying attention to. Ignoring it won't make it go away, but approaching it with honesty can create space for truth, whatever that truth may be. If you notice these patterns, take it as an opportunity to communicate openly. Ask questions without obvining, listen without interrupting, and express how you feel without turning it into a confrontation. Healthy communication is not about winning or proving something, it's about understanding each other more deeply. No matter the outcome, your focus should remain on self-respect, emotional balance, and clarity. You deserve a connection where effort, attention, and care flow both ways. And sometimes, recognizing what has changed is the first step toward either rebuilding something stronger or having the courage to let go with dignity and peace.